What's going on, everybody? BobbyFi back with my man Eric Sheets-Haber. We are trying to bring you a quick baseball show. I had another show with QLTV earlier, and we did the NBA stuff. So obviously, we're running a little behind today. Sheets, initial thoughts on the slate. It's a giant one, and it's not the great day to have a giant slate.
Yeah, but well, you know what? It's interesting because I looked at this for. It's so funny. You put most of your time looking at the basketball. I actually did spend a decent amount of time with the baseball, and unfortunately, I kind of wanted to ask you about a lot of the hitting stuff, but we can let's see if we can't get through it. And I'll share my screen. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to start talking about stuff, and if you want to chime in, you can chime in. You know what I mean? What I'll do is I'm going to give I'll give my views of the slate in general and like the guys I'm highlighting. Then we can maybe go backwards to game by game and just kind of
whatever you
kind
want.
of do it. So first of all, when it comes to pitching, I was actually very confident with at least where I was going to go on top. And there's one particular guy who I need to talk to you about. So let me start with my top guy. So I think Luis Castillo, I think I'm going to lock him into all my lineups. And I don't do it that all too often, I suppose, but maybe not on FanDuel. FanDuel's like a little more complicated. There's a lot of other guys that are kind of equal as far as value goes. I think that Castillo is clearly the best play here. I was expecting them to show like 40-50% ownership on here, but I mean they're saying 15, 20 or whatever it is. If that's actually the case, I'm very, very confident in that. So he was going to be my top pitcher, and what I'm going to do is figure out who to pair him with, and I have a couple of kind of like cheap guys and a couple of mid-range guys, so I wanted to kind of run them by you.
Okay.
The other overall concept of the slate, which I wanted to talk to you about, was the debut of Coors Field, which is actually a really, really big deal. But the problem is, and it's not really a problem, is it's kind of clashing with kind of a cool little take that I was kind of waiting on. So I'm just going to bring this out. So Garrett Richards, apparently, and this, I don't even remember where I got this from, but apparently he's been working really, really hard, and he's been looking really sharp in the preseason. And he actually had a really good start in his first game. And he's something about his like slider is like one of the best spin rates in like all the league or something like that. And I was waiting for a good opportunity to play him, and just as luck would have it, they throw him right in at Colorado, which is like a little annoying. So I was trying to figure out what to do with that. So there was two kind of ways I was going to attack it conceptually. One was just, I don't have to play Richards against Colorado, but what I can do is just fade Colorado, right? And the second thing I could do is just hope he can just gets lit up at Colorado, and then I could play him in kind of his next start. The other thing that is kind of talk me out of her into is that the other part of the Colorado game is San Diego, and that's usually where we like to go.
Can you hear me?
I'm sorry?
Can you hear me? Every time I keep trying to say something, I couldn't get through.
Oh yeah, I'm just finishing my.
No, I wanted to ask you genuinely about Richards. So I didn't know if you were. I know you have him in this lineup, but are you really considering using him?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if you were really just talking about that. That's interesting. Really?
Yeah, no, I was, because again, I what I'm probably going to end up doing is really not. It's just making maybe one or two lineups or something like that, and just take my stand and just basically fading Colorado. You know what I mean? Like I don't necessarily have to just go play Garrett Richards if I don't have to. But I just wanted to throw that out there to you. The other thing about that game I wanted to address is, again, this goes against everything that I believe in. Because San Diego is we like to attack teams going into Colorado because of the big park shift and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But I hate playing teams off of 12 runs, which they scored last night. So it's a little annoying. So that's like overall conceptually what I'm thinking of the slate.
Yeah, 12 runs and travel are not my favorite combination. You know what I mean? I like 12 runs if you're playing back-to-back, against Miami and you're Baltimore or something like that. And you're playing at home or some kind of cool thing where you read a bad bullpen over and over again. This is not the same situation. It's strange to me that on a slate this big, I think what happens, I think, is people have to find something to make it popular. They have to find something that makes them feel comfortable. So they just see Coors for the first time and they want to light up. You know what I mean? But we already know John Gray's a pretty good pitcher.
Yep.
Why on a huge slate would we attack this game? All it does to me is just give me the best excuse ever to stack the team I want to stack the most at lower ownership, which is the Yankees.
Yeah. So let's go back now through game by game and see, because I'd love to get your takes on the hitting, because I don't want to play the Colorado game, and I'm really between like 6 or 7 teams otherwise. You know what I mean? So I'd love to get. What's that?
How about the Yankees? Yeah.
Well, since you mentioned it, first game, Boston Yankees. I had no interest in either of the pitchers, and yeah, absolutely, Yankees are, one of the, if not, it's one of the top stacks on the slate. I mean, I had, what do I have? I had basically 5 teams, all very similar.
Right.
Padres, Yankees, Colorado, Dodgers, and actually Tampa. So when it comes to, so I need a little bit of direction of where to go. So you think the Yankees are kind of the top team today?
That's how I have. I mean, first of all, the highest projected scoring team, which is weird that they're not going to be his own, and it's interesting how it works why they're not his own. They are missing now one of their better bats in the lineup. They're going to be missing after getting hit yesterday. I would assume that you're not going to see Glaber today. But still, what? The lineup's stacked anyway. I mean, you have your number 8 hitter hit 320 with 25 home runs last year. I think that Aaron Judge is he's the most obvious, easiest play on the slate. So just play him,
Okay.
But at the same time, you're going to get 0 ownership on Giancarlo Stanton because of the price difference on DraftKings. So I would probably be looking to play Stanton more than Judge. I always give Judge a little bit of the edge. It's really close for me, but because of the price being so much worse for Stanton, I just can't see people going there as much. And you can build a chalky Yankees stack and not be that chalky.
Yeah, I had Judge as the best value of the Yankees, and you don't think Torres is going to play? Is that what you were saying?
I don't think he will. I mean, he got hit yesterday. I've got most of the projection systems that I've looked at have him out today. I would imagine he'll be out.
I wouldn't mind going back to DJ LeMahieu off of an 0 for performance.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I love LeMahieu. I mean, if you're going to play the stack the way that, my guys are going to be one of the outfielders probably, because I love some other outfielders. Actually, one of my favorite plays overall in the whole slate is JD on the other side of this game. I like him. He's going to be – what are we going to get ownership on JD versus a lefty tonight?
I can't believe that man, we had him at very, very little ownership yesterday, and we had him with the bases loaded, and he couldn't freaking do it.
Look, sometimes it's going to happen. You know what I mean?
I know.
The reason also people are getting off of him is because he's been struggling. Yeah.
Well, what about Boston?
4% projected ownership. How about that? You know what? I may not even need to get so cute and play Judge if I'm going to do what I'm planning on doing. I play Stanton. You just don't need to get as crazy cute today. You can play your favorite hitters. And I would just advise don't make your stacks. Get pieces of the game. Like right now, the 2 guys who stand out to me the most would be Tatis and Blackmon from that game, from the Colorado game. So I'll use them with my Yankee stacks. And that sounds pretty basic, and throw GE in there. You know what I mean? It works out perfectly. I don't like Gary Sanchez looks so bad to me. I'm almost considering just not playing him today.
Who?
Gary Sanchez. But then in the end, I'll probably end up playing him in one of my highest buy-in tournaments because he's just, from a skill set standpoint, he's so far above everybody in the same area. So I don't know. But you should also get low ownership on Christian Vasquez, who just hit 2 home runs against another lefty. So it's just kind of an interesting spot. You could sort of stack that whole Boston-New York game is kind of interesting. Well, I think Montgomery certainly has talent, and at one point I really liked him. I don't know. I'm not finding myself too interested here.
Okay, let's go on to the next game. And I kind of had interest in both these teams also. From a hitting perspective, again, I don't want Porcello. I don't want Newcomb as my second pitcher, and I didn't want either of the Red Sox Yankees as my second pitcher either. As I don't know if I mentioned
Yeah.
But the Mets, I think they're both teams are in play here. I think that the Mets can go right back to Cespedes, and he's a little, I don't want to say expensive, but he's fine there, 4,100. Alonso's still expensive, but whatever. But maybe you don't have to be so cute like you were saying. I mean, maybe you can get away with not having to do this. Maybe you could play some Yankees and some one-off, some other things. But I think the Mets are, again, they were a team I was going to ask you about because I think they're certainly live here. And Atlanta, I thought was going to be live too. I don't like that Albies is out. He's not. I don't think he's starting today.
Yeah, I like. I think I don't need the Mets. I'm okay with any of the. I would probably just focus on just playing Alonso or something like that. But I don't really want to get into stacking them. I'll play the Braves. I would play the Braves. I'm not going to play a ton of lineups today because I've just got too many other ones going on. And
okay.
But I don't mind like Porcello. Adam stands out. Freddie Freeman, obviously, like Acuna. It's still a pretty solid lineup, and I don't believe in Porcello anymore. But I just think I'm probably going to end up leaving this game more alone. I don't think Newcomb is as bad. I'm surprised the run total is as high as it is. I know it's good hitting weather, but that's really excessive. So, yeah, not a ton of interest for me, actually, even as I look at it.
Good. All right, next on my list is Cincinnati, Detroit. As I mentioned, Castillo is my favorite pitcher.
Agreed.
I had him yesterday, and he rained down on me. So I like him a lot. And as far as I might actually play Cincinnati Hitters also. I think they're very. I think they're another team that I'm looking at as being a live team here. So I didn't really want to play any Tigers against Castillo. And I guess Moustakas would be, my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Moustakas and Suarez from the Reds, and I get maybe Castellanos also.
Moustakas and Shogo Akiyama are the guys I would look at.
Shogo.
He's 2,500 and he's supposed to be leading off. So I think he is leading off actually. Moustakas is just the best misprice guy. But everybody else who's going to be unowned. Those guys are going to be popular. Actually, Moustakas might end up being like one of the most popular hitters on the slate.
Really?
Yeah, he's gonna because his price, and I look at third base, he's definitely going to be. Whenever you're, he's probably going to be. Anyway, I would probably go Suarez and Castellanos next. Castellanos, hey, you got that going back to Detroit. But it's again, I'm okay with it, but it's not a stack. I'm not playing too many stacks today, so I'm not going to do it. I don't think.
Are you into Castillo or not as much as I am?
I love Castillo. I just think he's going to be crazy chalk on Draftkings, considering him playing on FanDuel. He's way more expensive, but I'll probably end up just eating that chalk and then going different with my other SP2.
All right, so let's move on then to Tampa, Baltimore. So I have interest in two things here. You're not going to like it.
I know I like it. I already have my first build has got one of those things.
Okay, so one thing is Alex Cobb as my second pitcher, and the other one is Tampa Hitters. So that was what I was going to ask you about. I'm not playing Blake Snell, although I certainly can see him punishing me for not doing it. But I'm just not doing it today. And Alex Cobb at 4K would be my is one of the I guess 2-3 guys that I might punt at my second pitcher.
Yeah, I like both ideas. I'm not going to play Tampa today just because again, not playing very many lineups. But I get it. I totally would on other slates. I don't like their lineup quite as much as I did last year. They also have more Ks in there. I like Cobb. Can you get behind Cobb? I've said this forever. Cobb used to be a great pitcher. And what happened was when you lose certain things, you lose your velocity. He's like always figuring it out. So he has these really, really up and down stretches. And he dominates like even good teams sometimes. He did it wasn't it the Red Sox last time? Well, we don't know if they're good. But yeah, so I can get behind both sides of that, actually. I just think that I'm not going to end up – there's no individual Tampa bat that screams, I really want this guy. And it's not like stacking Tampa Bay last year when they had Tommy Pham and Austin Meadows. This is a very different lineup. Just take those two guys out and put these other guys in, and Kiermaier. Kiermaier's there still. But I don't know. I'm not threatened by the Joey Wendell, Michael Perez. I just don't want to go there on one giant slate like this.
I don't blame you.
And by the way, I mean, we're not going to play him probably because of his price, but we might want to reconsider it because Blake Snell could actually go out there and like throw a shutout or something against these guys.
You think so?
I'm just not going to do it. Like, yeah, I mean, I still don't buy entirely into the Baltimore offense. I think Blake Snell's really good and just had a bad outing. I don't understand why the projection. So is he not going to pitch much at all? Like, is there something I'm missing?
Maybe that's it. I don't know.
I must have missed something on that, and probably that's the case. So double check for before you do anything. We're still recording. We still got hours before the games. Anyway, we can move on for me.
Yep. Okay. White Sox Royals. I don't understand exactly what's going on, but see this Chris Bubic like popping in some projection models or something like that. I don't know much about it. I just kind of hoping that people play him at 4K instead of Cobb, so that I can play the White Sox. that would be my retort to that. I don't want to play Dallas Keuchel, just because again he's not usually the type of guy that racks up a lot of strikeouts. He certainly can protect. I wouldn't be surprised if he throws. If he keeps Kansas City off the board without striking out more than 3 guys, which is certainly possible. Although there was a couple of games last year where we said that. And he put a couple of outlier games out there. We had a couple of big strikeout games, but I'm not going to go there. If anything, I would go to the White Sox hitters, unless you really sold me on this Bubic guy.
No.
Okay. Very good.
Go back to your White Sox hitters, man. I'm not going to, again, not playing enough lineups where I'm going to get to many of them today, but I certainly can get behind it.
Well, they're kind of expensive. I mean, I was expensive. I mean, Tim Anderson, I guess, is 4K. Abreu. Go back to Luis Robert, right?
Yeah. Don't play Grandal. He doesn't have power right-handed. That's what I would say.
Okay.
Watch him hit a home run left-handed like the 6th or 7th inning.
What's that?
Watch him hit a home run in the 6th or 7th inning. But yeah, Tim Anderson makes a lot of sense. Yohan Moncada. Those are 2 guys I'm looking at right now. I'm mildly interested in Keuchel personally.
Okay.
I think he can mow through this kind of a team, and I think there's a few strikeouts in the lineup, so I think he could pick up like 4 or 5 strikeouts in 6 or 7 innings and potentially give up very little. But I don't think I'm going to end up playing too much. I'm debating with him. He's on my list of a few guys because we'll get into it in a minute. But the other guys I'm just tempted to use, and we talked about it yesterday. We're going to have the same conversation in 1 minute.
Okay. All right. Next game I have is San Diego, Colorado, and as I said, I'm not going to be playing Colorado. I heard just honestly, I just heard too many good things about Garrett Richards to just go play Colorado. I'm not saying that Garrett Richards is going to win the Cy Young or anything like that. He's just stupid Garrett Richards, but that I'm just not going to play Colorado. And like we talked about just for a few minutes, they're all going to project well. Everybody does in Colorado. But I don't want to play San Diego back-to-back off a 12-run performance. It's not like San Diego is anything special anyway. So probably going to stay away, at least from the stacking perspective. But you were saying that what might be a good idea is to kind of take some one-offs from here. So I guess I'll ask you. I'll throw in my favorites. I mean, again, nothing fancy for me. I would go with Tatis, like you said, and Machado's be my 2 guys. Pham would be next, but those would be my 2 favorite guys. And if I did do any Colorados, I just don't even think I'm going to. I would guess take the lefties. I would take Bill Blackman or David Dahl, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I'll probably, again, depending on how many lineups I'll throw in, I might throw in a Garrett Richards as my second pitcher, just on principle. And that's pretty much all I have on this game.
Yeah, I will put I'll put a priority and have I love Blackman. At home against righties, he's just unbelievable. He's basically turns into Mike Trout, sort of like JD versus lefties. And I like Tatis. It's a ridiculous price, but ridiculous ownership. But power, it's a good spot for him. I would like him even if this game was in San Diego in this matchup. And Machado and the Pham, I agree with you in that order. But I think that I'll steer clear of the other guys. I don't mind Arenado, but I would probably just go Dahl or definitely Blackman, though. Blackman is my priority. I'm
Yeah,
a little worried that he hasn't run yet this year, which makes me just like, what if he's getting a little bit older? But I'm still going to go for him here, especially at low ownership.
makes sense to me.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on then. All right. So here we go again, right? So Cleveland, Minnesota. First of all, Mike Clevenger he's awesome. I have no problem with Mike Clevenger. If I play him, I'd probably play him on FanDuel. He's a little bit easier to stomach, especially relative to Castillo. But then again, that would make Castillo a little lesser owned over there also. So Clevenger's a freaking animal. I mean, he's awesome. And like we said yesterday, he's going against a tough lineup. The debate was definitely went in favor of the pitcher yesterday, to say the least. Let's put it that way. I mean, Bieber was just freaking insane.
Man, that guy's not. Yeah. He's a slate breaker when he gets a go.
Dude, there was one thing. I don't know if you're watching it, but he gave up some like bloop fly ball to some guy, and he got so mad at himself. He must have like made a mistake with his pitch or something, and the guy didn't like take advantage of it, and he got so pissed at himself that he made the mistake, even though the guy didn't take advantage of it. So that was exhibit A for pitchers over hitters. But I guess Minnesota is going to be in play. But for me, I'm going to have to get talked off of Cleveland here because, first of all, I was thinking of you when Lindor hit that home run last night. I was like, okay, let's go. You know what I mean? And I had Lindor, I had Ramirez yesterday, and I might wheel right back to them today. I'm not particularly scared of Randy Dobnak. And these guys are always very appealing to me. Ramirez.
In history, anyone ever said that?
What's that?
The first time in history anyone ever said, I'm not very scared of Randy Dobnak. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. And so there's Ramirez and Lindor just right back. The one guy, he's not in the lineup. I was expecting against lefty. Okay, so Luplo's not going to be in the lineup today, I guess.
No.
Okay, so those two are my priorities, and then Reyes, I guess, would be the next guy. Again, maybe I prefer him against lefty, but who cares? Freaking home run, fine by me. So it would be Ramirez and Lindor and maybe Reyes.
Yeah, man, I can get behind it. Like I like that a little bit. I definitely would prioritize Lindor as my top shortstop of the day, along with Tatis. And then Ramirez is right there in the top three for me at third base. So I'm debating, how to do it. I don't know if I want to run a full stack. If I did, I would include Santana and Hernandez next. I like Reyes in general, but I don't necessarily think that he always lends himself to being a great part of the stack because of his high strikeout rate and home run rate, low walk rate. But I still like him, if you're going to play three guys, I like him a little better than if he was going to play five guys in some ways, if that makes any sense.
No, that makes sense to me.
So that's sort of the route I would look to lean this way. Maybe just even getting the three of those guys, or if I was going to play four, I would want to get Hernandez and Santana. You get some stolen base upside with Hernandez and both on base guys who walk, and that's how I would treat it.
Okay.
But I do like Clevenger.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not taking any bats against him today. I understand if you want to. They're not going to be owned at all. You can get an unowned Nelson Cruz for once and Max Kepler and Eddie Rosario, but I just not going to do it. But I do think that I'm nervous about it a little bit with Clevenger, but I can't be – these guys are awesome. And it started from years ago with Kluber, then Trevor Bauer really changed it because he's such a lunatic. And it sort of rubbed off on these other guys like Clevenger, and they all eat up innings. They throw more pitches than any other starting staffs in baseball. I just think if you're playing DFS these days, you almost have to just take shots with these guys. And if they're not in at least a third of your lineups, you're probably mathematically wrong. And they probably should be in half of your lineups.
Yeah, I guess I better try it. Okay, you want to move on?
Yep.
All right, Pittsburgh, Chicago. I had no interest today in anybody in this game, with the exception of trying to, I want to say force the Cubs, but use the Cubs as hitters. I don't know if I was going to get to them, but that would be my only opinion. I didn't want either pitcher, and leave it to you for the rest.
Yeah, I can't find myself really getting into this game
Okay.
at all. So I guess for right now, I've got it off. I did want to look at the weather real quick, which I haven't done. Um, give me a minute on that one. Why don't you talk a little bit about who you would prioritize for the Cubs if you were playing them?
Yeah. So if I were going to play anybody from the Cubs, it would be, I mean, again, nothing fancy. It'd be Baez, Rizzo, Schwarber, and those would be my three guys. I'm not really a Chris Bryant guy, but so it'd be basically those three, maybe Contreras.
Yeah. We also do, by the way, the Baltimore game. It looks like there's still some stuff in the area over there, but it, it's questionable. And the Braves might have an issue tonight. Baltimore and the Braves both could have issues. Just keep that in mind. So
weather issues, you mean?
Yeah, just keep it close at lock. It looks to me like the wind is coming in from left field in Chicago, not from center where it really gets bad. But I think that's an argument for stay off the bats, and it actually might put a guy in play who I don't really want to play.
Darvish?
Yeah. I'm probably not going to go there. Let's just leave it alone. But I do think that he's got upside, and just no one's going to play him.
Yeah, I think there are better. I don't say better, but there are other mid-range guys that you can go to.
There certainly are. It's a interesting one. He's going to get some minutes. I actually think he's a better play than people think. We'll see.
So speaking of which, so Houston against the Angels, and this is a very reasonable mid-range pitcher you can play. Okay, so McCullers is fine, and he's actually going to be one of the guys that I pair with Castillo in lineups where I can, where I don't need the money for other guys. Look, going against the Angels is certainly no bargain, but McCullers is very, very good, and with any luck, Trout's going to remain on the paternity list, which would be nice to see if you have pitchers. And so I think he's very, very reasonable. I was not going to play the Angels hitters against him, so it would just be Houston on as far as pitching goes. It would just be McCullers, but I am very interested in the Houston hitters against Andres, starting with Brantley at 2,800, hitting fourth, and then the regular guys. So Bregman at 4,500, Gurriel 3,100. Springer's been very, very bad, but
he's been hurt. He just got hurt.
Yeah. With any luck, he doesn't play.
Yeah.
And even Reddick at 2,100 is very would be very helpful. So I am somewhat interested in Houston.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Andreessy's all that bad, but these prices are kind of ridiculous for a pretty potent offense. And what's actually better hitting weather than it usually is, man. Because we're not used to getting the Angels games this late in the year that we're talking. I mean, we'll get a couple or whatever, but not every day. I think that Brantley's the one you place the priority on. I would go Springer, then Altuve, then Springer, then Bregman, then Altuve next. I don't think I'm going to stack it. I think I'm just going to probably look for maybe Brantley or one of those other guys. Probably would lean towards maybe Bregman, actually. Probably Bregman because of the infield position, and Altuve at short, because those guys, just because the position is not as strong.
I don't know how I'm going to be able to play McCullers, by the way, unless I don't play Castillo in that lineup.
What do you mean?
I mean, it's going to be expensive.
To play what?
To play McCullers along with Castillo.
Oh, I've got McCullers playing with what's his name, with the Clevenger.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, then you don't get to play your Yankees, right?
Yeah, you can play whatever you want, actually. I mean, there's plenty of room today and plenty of savings. I mean, it's really crazy how cheap some of these guys are. Like Brantley is a great example,
That's true.
Brantley's the best example. There's no better hitter in baseball who's going to be this cheap. There just isn't one. Not even close.
How would you rank McCullers in your pitchers?
In the top three.
Okay.
So I'm debating between him and one other guy we're going to talk about in the next game.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get to it then. So, you know what? Just pause this for just a second. I just got it.
All right. So yeah, we were just talking about McCullers and ranking him, and I was saying that we've got, another guy in the next game I've got.
Yeah, so we get to this game, and I don't want to say I went back and forth, and say it that way, but actually, it's so funny. So Mike Minor is the other guy, right, in that range that you can play, all right, if you want. I am between him. I guess I'm like you, maybe. I mean, I'm between him and McCullers as the guy to play in that range. You scared me a little bit with San Francisco not being as great of a park as, and then they put up 12 runs like it was going out of style last night. But he certainly has strikeout upside, and I don't know, maybe similar to McCullers, I guess. What I'm interested in is Logan Webb. It's my second pitcher. Yeah, so he's one of the other punts I was going to try.
I actually like him a little bit.
What's that?
I actually like him a little bit too. I was surprised that you thought of him, but yeah.
Yeah, so it was either going to be Cobb or Richards or Webb as my SP2 punt. So that was really everything I had. I didn't want to play any of the Texas hitters. I didn't want to play the San Francisco hitters. I guess I just wanted to just chit chat about those pitchers with you.
Yeah, I'm struggling with this pitching decision because I really am having trouble ranking one ahead of the other between the two of them.
Between Minor and Webb and McCullers.
Yeah, and to the point where it's almost frustrating and makes me want to get rid of the Clevenger risk. Although I just feel like I don't want to play that non-upside game, but I do think both these guys have enough upside too. I mean, the clear, obviously popular one is going to be McCullers, but
especially with Trout out of the lineup,
so much better of a matchup for Minor.
Yep,
it's so hard for me to not. I don't know. I'm actually considering Minor. I think I have him currently in my Shell FanDuel lineup, so maybe I'll leave him in over there. Because I could see him getting through a lot of the games. Same with McCullers, but I just feel like it's a little bit tougher. In fact, I don't know, man. It's really tough.
I think just play him equally, I guess.
Yeah, but I've got two big ones going on Draftkings only tonight, and I can't really do that.
Oh, so it can't be so easy, huh?
Yeah, unfortunately. All right. Well, I mean, I'll figure out a way.
Okay. Two left. Let's. So LA against Arizona is the next one I have. And you have to tell me about this Tony Gonsolin guy because he's another one who's showing up in projection models, but I just don't know much about him. I guess we got to do a little more work on it as a possible punt. As far as hitting goes, I certainly have no problem playing the Dodgers. I have no problem, especially against a righty. Give me Bellinger, give me Muncy, give me Pollock did it for us last night. Wish I would have won money with it.
I didn't bet more on him. I know it's so dumb, so predictable too. He gets the narrative going back to Arizona after all the years against the Dodgers where he was the killer, and then he comes in and boom. Oh.
Yeah. So Bellinger, Muncy, Seager. I got no problem with this. So again, this is another team that I could throw in them, the Yankees, anybody but Colorado team, pretty much.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about Tony Gonsolin? You like him at all?
Yeah. No, I wouldn't use Tony Gonsolin.
Good. Okay. Makes my life much easier.
Yeah, look at his price. I mean, it's tricky. I mean, he's fine. He's I actually think he's a decent pitcher, but I don't think that I would use him here. I wouldn't. I'm a little I think Gallen's pretty good, but I would definitely, if you're playing multiple stacks, definitely have Dodger stacks in there. That's all I got. I don't really have an individual great play here. I think that you could play any of them. It's the same old thing. Everybody will, there's nobody going to play him tonight. So usually I would use that as being my decider. I mean, obviously if I need to tell someone that Bellinger's the best play against a righty, then I probably wouldn't need to tell them that. Bellinger and Seager would be the best plays. Seager just because of position and price.
Okay. Yeah. Finishing up Oakland, Seattle. Both these pitchers also are a little annoying. Just because, I mean, I'm just hearing a little bit about to want a Walker.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't play everybody.
I'm not playing either of these pitchers.
Oh, makes life. Manaea's going to be very popular on FanDuel, apparently.
Is he really cheap over there?
I think so.
Oh, if he is, I might have to change my thing because I actually I like Manaea if he's a reasonable price, but I think he can get through this game pretty easily. I just don't like him at this price on DraftKings. I'd rather play all the other guys we talked in that same range.
And as far as hitting goes, the only one of these teams I was interested in is Oakland. And I wish that they were facing a lefty. I love playing those freaking righties. But you can certainly play Olsen as a one-off in this spot.
By the way, right as I mentioned the Yankees thing about how Gary Sanchez sucks, right after it, that's the word. He's out today.
Oh, he's out today?
Yeah.
What makes my life easier? I can take him out of the shell lineup.
Yeah, I had him in one of my shells too.
Who's catching for them?
I'm trying to find out what's happening. I'm trying to get the lineup right now.
Yeah.
It's a little tough. It's crazy. With DraftKings and FanDuel especially, I'm surprised they didn't build a better stuff because it's really slowing down my screen to how much it's using just because of how many lineups I have.
Really?
It's really slowing it down. So if I try and click out of the screen, it's just taking me forever. All right, let's see.
I guess it would be Hishigawa.
Oh, wow. Actually, Torres is actually in the lineup. That's the weird part. So that was the
really
surprising one. So that's actually kind of cool. I actually like that's play Torres then.
Yeah, but I think I'd rather play Mayhew.
Yeah, that's fine. I'd rather play Torres, but
okay.
He's just a better hitter, but he's a better DFS hitter. He's a more powerful hitter. But yeah, I like Gleyber quite a bit now. I like it.
So who do we like it?
I think the A's are.
Who do we like a catcher today?
Okay, so the top catcher would be, let's see, I actually think Vasquez is kind of interesting because as a spend up from a low owned perspective, but I guess they're all kind of going to be lower owned. Well, Sanchez is out now, so that's going to change things a little bit. I'll have to see some updated ownership. So I don't really love anybody. That's why people are going to use the Colorado guys. Hedges probably be pretty popular. It was going to be Sanchez, which I was going to try and get away from. But I don't have like other great plays at catcher. This is a really, really bad position today. I mean, really bad.
So in a situation like that, do you take guys that just have like these random power catchers, or do you want to just find a catcher that goes within one of your stacks or something?
In your stacks, or either one is fine. I might even just go down and see who the cheapest one is on certain lineups potentially today if I want to. Just not worried about losing the position as much. I don't have a great take on any of them, which is really weird because there's a lot of plays I love in the slate, and it's strange that none of them could be a catcher.
Yeah, and that was a good call by you about Grandal not having power from that side of the plate.
Which part? Wait, which part was that?
You said you didn't like Grandal today.
Oh yeah. I can't play him, against the lefty. I've seen too many. I've been a Dodger fan for too long and know exactly his weaknesses are.
You could go back to Ramos or Contreras.
Yeah, Contreras, if the wind wasn't blowing in at 12 miles an hour, I would take, but I just don't like playing them when the wind blows in. Manaea is cheap. He's 7,500. I think I'm going to play him on FanDuel.
That's what I said, right?
That's a tough one to overlook. Yeah. But it's also like people are also like pretty affordable for the most part on FanDuel. Anyway. So yeah, I think that you're looking at, I'm looking at some of my things right here. I think you're looking at Yankees. I think you can look at a mini Red Sox on the other side of that same game. I think that you can look at, mostly it's just Vasquez, Bogarts, and JD, but they're all okay. Even Pilar, whatever. The White Sox are interesting. Cleveland as a mini stack I like. Oakland as one-offs for power I certainly like. And then the Dodgers would be we can absolutely hammer you if we get to this guy kind of a thing.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good to me. I could again, as long as if I don't play San Diego and Colorado hitters, really I could do whatever I want. So
whatever you
I'm
want.
probably going to go with you on some Yankees. I'm definitely playing Cleveland. I might end up playing Cleveland like every freaking day. I just see where I'm headed here. And White Sox, I might go after some of them. And I'm still torn about what to do with Tampa. I kind of agree with you that their lineup is kind of fishy.
Yeah,
it's kind of fishy in general.
Let me see.
But okay, I'm good, man.
All right, man. Hey, guys, thanks for tuning in. Sorry, it's a little bit scrambly today. There's a lot of stuff going on, but good luck to you out there. Hopefully you take down a big tournament, and give us a shout out if you do. All right, guys, take it easy. Good luck.